I hope this video finds you well. I did a video yesterday introducing you all to, um, kind of like when we had a pandemic and arguably the world. Well, right now, YouTube is experiencing a similar pandemic due to a virus named Michelle. Michelle is a parasitical, narcissistic, borderline, histrionic, bipolar, lying piece of guano. Now, if you want to know why I'm referring it to guano, it's because of the bat crap that I explained was in her house. So, I started this out yesterday, and thank you all for the positive feedback. I know that you guys have all been pretty lucky in not seeing or being infected by the Michelle virus. And those of you that knew of her, knew of her. I hope that by me showing what she's done and the harm that she has done serves as education, so that if you run across her and you don't know her story, you're not pulled into her tentacles, testicles, whatever she may have. So, what I did last night was I introduced you to the coolest chick ever. The chick who is behind the channel, Penelope's Lane. Penelope saw the shitstorm on the horizon, and she went through and did several videos showing the backstory, who and what this thing is, and what this thing has done. And as such, the enablers and Michelle started threatening the creator of Penelope's Lane to the effect that she had to stop, leave the videos as they are, because she has said that she has a history of somebody that she doesn't want finding her, and she values her privacy, and she has attorneys to protect her as such. So we are very fortunate to have this gold mine that she produced and is up. It's not always up. Sometimes she does take it down. When they are up, it is just a blessing for everybody. She has great satirical humor while she is touching on the subject. I think that it's important viewing for all. And last night I just showed you so you could see Penelope's Lane channel there, see what it looks like in her avatar. And I used a picture of Michelle on her channel. I did not use anything from Penelope's Lane other than that. And I just want to thank Penelope's Lane ahead of time if she saw that. Thank you for letting me use that. Now, tonight, as I go further, I would like permission from Penelope, wherever you are, to show some of the lies in the ways that they are so obvious faced with the other truths that I'm going to bring in. Now, I want to say right now that I am doing both the material that I've sourced and what I may bring in from Penelope's video. I'm doing it under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act for fair use. I am using this material for education, commentary, research, criticism, to teach, and to provide new information. I am not yet monetized. Don't know that I ever will with my mouth, but we're trying. So to this point, I've never made any money whatsoever. So those that are out there accusing me of doing this to get money and everything else I've done to get money, I've not made anything. You all know that I put my own money into sourcing things. I'm happy to show that. I put my own time into things. So I'm upside down quite a bit in investing in creating a channel that goes further to show the truth and the backstory. And while I heard another, somebody else put in a comment on, was it Rock a Lot? And I asked if I could quote them, and they said they heard from the behavior panel. And it's basically something to the effect where Liars sell the story, and the truth tells the story. So when you look at the tragedy pimps and how they've went through this whole story, and by proxy, the Michelle virus is a secondary. Okay, you know, like the pandemic had its first swarm. That's the tragedy pimps in their first run of it. And then as things calmed down and the pandemic went, then we had that second raise, that second storm. This is the second level because Michelle had wanted to become Molly Golightly, and was trying to get on her show and become a fan of hers to get the phone calls and everything because she wanted to comment on one of the stories that they were exploiting on the story of Vaughn and Dre. And if you'd like the backstory and the truth on that, I have done extensive coverage on that as well. There's a lot more to just the headline and the one little tip of the iceberg that they got all their money on. There's a big story behind that, and it deserves to be told as well. I am not saying that Dre had anything to do with the unfortunate incident that left her husband with a brain injury that he will not recover from. Although she can say she's bringing him home and everything, that does not mean that, you know, he's there in a chair getting rehab and gonna be able to do anything. He's had more than 10 doctors at the VA certify that due to his anoxic brain injury without oxygen to his brain, he will never recover. Now, there's a lot of backstory as to how he got there. The backstory is important. There's another creator, Truth Seeker, who has put her videos forth. She has went and sourced out the old videos that show how Dre and Vaughn became to be what they are, and I've shared her videos as well on my channel. And I think that with these stories, it's important to see where it all started. How did we get here? That's why, you know, I cover a lot of the Watts, because there's just the headline. There's just that picture perfect family. It shows nothing. That shows the tip of the iceberg of what's there. And just as the Titanic found out, there's this huge, huge, big piece of ice underneath the surface you don't see. And that's what caused that little bit to come up over the surface so that you can see it. And it's sharp. And it can hurt you, but you have no idea what's down below. Same with this creature named Michelle. So right now she still has people enabling her. I am doing my best to not be a part of that, in that I am trying to expose the backstory. I don't make money, as I've said. I don't go to anything that is of hers. I go to the channels that I respect that have done clips. Heels in the Air is amazing. Amazing. Burnt Toast is awesome. I would love for Burnt Toast to do something on this creature, but hopefully this creature's on his way out. This creature will undoubtedly threaten to unalive herself within the next week because things are closing in on her. YouTube has deplatformed her. She keeps starting new channels every day. She doesn't care that they've told her that she can never be on. She does not accept the word no. She's a true psychopath. She goes and reports others and tries to get all other channels taken down. That's what she does. And so she, you know, has that sociopath vibe where she knows the rules and she wants everybody else to follow them, but she doesn't have to. And so she's a real piece of work. And she's hurt a lot of people and continues to hurt people, which is why I think it's important to continue to spread the truth about her. So here is, please watch Penelope's Lane. If you have anything to do with Michelle and you have not watched and shared Penelope's Lane, please watch it. Watch the video she's done. And even if you're not into the subject, Penelope's Lane videos are great for that. That perfect brand of humor where it's just satirical. When you just kind of need something to laugh at, support Penelope's Lane. I don't think Penelope ever got monetized either. I don't know, though. She's at 3.62 subscribers. And she's earned every single one of them. Tragic Wise also did a lot of commentary on Michelle, and Tragic Wise, it's like Tragic Wise with a -2, because her first channel got taken down, most likely by the tragedy pimps or Michelle herself. Um, so, as I said with my title yesterday, Michelle has what she has and she lives well because she exploited and manipulated a veteran. And she is sponging and exploiting this veteran right now. She's getting alimony, which is money that was given to our troops because he is a United States veteran. So the money that is given to him as retirement for what he earned for fighting for our country and the ability for me to have freedom of speech as I do right this moment. I thank that veteran. I thank ATM. I say ATM on accident because that's what we call him because Michelle used him as an ATM and his name is Etienne. I think his last name is actually the Sabati. That's where she gets it. So I thank the veteran, Etienne Sabate. If that is not your last name, I do apologize. I thank the veteran, Etienne, for all that you've done for our country. And I'm sorry that you came home with this, well, I'd like to call her the Gulf War virus, but that's already been coined. She does have full SSI. She says that she made 100,000 from her being an escort. That was probably money given just for her to go away once she appeared, to go away fast. So she has full SSI. She has alimony. She's able to live in the house that she. This is what people who have that narcissistic borderline personality do. It's called parasitical living. So they find somebody, they glob on, and their goal is to get you to let them in their house, just like a cockroach. So they're a parasite and they go on parasitical living. So then they'll take the host, which is the person, and they'll also take their home and they won't leave. You'll have to leave your own home as you know it. You will have to leave because they will not leave. They will threaten you. They will do everything. They will have manipulated and taken everything that you've ever said and done out of text. They will have taken pictures of you in positions that you don't want the world to know about. And they will use that so that they can get that as their own. And then they will say that is their own. And then they will bring in other people, like she's trying to bring another man into Etienne's home. Etienne it's the initials for his full name, which is like Etienne. And from all accounts, he's very nice. He's very sensitive and down to earth. I would not speak out on somebody falsely claiming domestic violence until I had researched to make sure there was no domestic violence in any shape or form. You do not have to be hit to be a victim of domestic violence. I am here to tell you that the mental, psychological, and verbal abuse is worse than being hit. I'd rather take a hit any day than be psychologically, verbally, and mentally abused. I'm going to tell you that. So I am exposing this because I have searched this out. Now, she has repeatedly said that she made it up, that she made up everything, that Etienne didn't do that to her. She will say Etienne loves her and is in love with her, and all she has to do is pick up the phone and he'll give her more money. Just watch. And she says that that's why he gave her everything in the divorce, etc., etc. He didn't give her everything. She has until May to get out of that house. She thinks she'll be able to sell the house with Etienne and the equity out of it will be divided. And she thinks that with that equity, she'll be able to put that down as a down payment and be able to finance the house. She will not. It's going to be real tough for her to explain how she has full medical, food stamps, medical through the state, and SSI disability, and claim her money from escorting what she says she had made all of this money. Unfortunately for girls who are good escorts, not her, it's real hard to put on a resume that you've been a long time hooker. It's just, one of these days hookers will have rights. But until now, it's not anything you can put on a resume. I mean, there are great skills that come from being a good hooker, prostitute, escort, otherwise servicer of services. You have to know how to organize, drive, host, good customer service, be responsible for your money, you know, all those things fall in, but you can't use it. And see, this is her problem because she's going to think that she can go into a real estate office and you know what? Before the big real estate crash of 2006, she could have walked in and said, "Hey, I'm a hoe and I made this much money in hoeing and I have this much in hoeing and I'm going to put this down. Plus, I have my disability and I have my state money that I get and I have this. So finance me." And they'd be like, "All right, sign here." That's why the whole industry fell because there were people who had temporary monies, temporary ways of making money, and they were not able to afford what they had. They did not live within their means. Why would anybody? You know, you're like, hey, if I can get this, and then you just dream, and you're like, well, yeah, I can make that payment, and I can make that balloon payment. It didn't happen. So now that you have to justify and verify where you got something, because it's not like you can have, you know, your friend or your parents or whatever write you a check for, you know, $1,000 if you need it for this and that. They have to then claim that money and say why they gave it to you. And if they give you a larger amount, they have to put it like on their capital gains or something like that. But, and then you also have to come up with 25%. So if she's saying the equity, okay, whatever. And she's also trying to get into that house and thrash it up so much that ETN or nobody would want it. But it's it's disgusting what she's doing. It's disgusting that people enable her. So I want you to hear. I don't want the way that I got these videos, I do not want to show this veteran's face for respect out of him. So I will let you hear and I will explain what's going on in the video so you can hear their interactions. But I don't want to show the video showing his face. I will give a little bit here and see if I can get her to talk about the domestic violence, which isn't true. And then you can kind of hear how she is with him. Now, that being said, I know that you can be a victim of domestic violence and everything can be wonderful and everything can snap. It's not the case. Not the case at all. Okay? So let's see if we can go with a little bit of Penelope and see what she says here.
Once again, Michelle Sabatay has disgusted all of us and mocked people that have really gone through serious things. This video is Michelle Sabatay lied about domestic violence. I'm dedicating this video to everyone who has ever experienced domestic violence or witnessed domestic violence. And I hate that we have to make this video, but the fact that Michelle decided it was okay to lie about domestic violence and belittle anyone that has truly gone through it makes me disgusted. So this video is for all of you.
And I second that. And I appreciate that Penelope says that because as a victim of child witnessing domestic violence as a small child, and then experiencing it as an adult, it's embarrassing. It's not like you go out on a platform and you say, oh yeah, I'm this and this and I got this out of it. I got a free house and I get all this money and everything. No, those of us who have truly suffered suffer and continue to suffer. And you don't get the house. You don't get all of this because you have to go and hide so that your abuser does not find you. People who sit there and say that like she does, she's not afraid of ETN. She's not afraid of who she said abused her. Somebody who's saying, I won't leave your house, you're not in fear for your life. Now the police are well accustomed with Michelle, and people used to call when she was online and you know, report her for because you know she's doing things like texting the toast and talking to the egg and everything. You know, she's clearly zooted, and she has, you know, pew pews in plain view, etc. And she does pretty crazy things. So the police are well accustomed with who she is, and she had called the police many times on ETN when she wasn't getting her way, and she turned it into her beating him up and her accusing him of domestic violence. He tried to hold it in and everything, and he backed down when she used that threat of calling the police on him, and he didn't want that. He's a veteran. He doesn't want to be on the other side of the police. He's never done anything of a criminogenic nature, so of course the police scare him. She used the police as her as a way to continue her her lies. Sadly, the police are put in a position where they are lied to every day. And if you get a rookie cop, they haven't seen it. They haven't seen the lies. So they may act on the side of the abuser. They have to see it with their own eyes how people will absolutely make up lies about abuse to get what they want. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting, and it is my pet peeve.
I'm so proud of your strength. Once again, video dealing with Michelle, we have a trigger warning. We have a trigger warning due to discussion about domestic violence and the false accusations that Michelle.
This is important to do that trigger warning, and I'm sorry that I did not do that previously. Penelope is a professional. She knows how to make excellent videos. I suck. I'm old, and I'm trying to learn new tricks. So this does go forth with a trigger warning, and I apologize for not putting one on yesterday.
Makes. We also have some graphic photos, and I will actually be putting in another trigger warning slide right before those graphic photos come up in case someone doesn't want to see them. My heart goes out to anyone experiencing domestic violence. I know it is incredibly scary and it's very difficult to leave. But I wanted to offer resources in case anyone is finding themselves in a domestic violence situation. We have seen the numbers of domestic violence increase dramatically since COVID. But for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, you can chat online at thehotline.org. You can text the word START to 88788, and there is a phone number that you can call as well. I would like to state that Michelle was absolutely lying about all domestic violence claims she made against her ex. I will be showing you proof of every single lie and the proof that it was a lie. And due to the embarrassment, torture, and shame that her ex has already experienced by being married to her, I will continue to call him Ed throughout the video and or her ex.
Okay, and so as I said, Penelope is a professional. I am not. I suck. But those numbers that were just put there, they're great. I found that the national number is good too, and there's so much stress behind calling the number the first time because you're like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't want him to take me tonight. I can't. What if somebody sees that I called and what do I do? What do I do? Make the call. They figure all of that out for you. You know, I've called them when I have had situations that I feel are just too big for me. And I just, I'm like, well, I know that you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. And they're like, why not? You don't. And the sad thing is that there are more shelters for animals than there are humans. Shelters for animals are also terrible. Please always look for a no-kill shelter if you do need to take an animal there for any reason. I just want that to be said. Now, it is important if you do want to do something on behalf of victims of domestic violence to perhaps call the hotline and say, hey, look, I'm touched. I'm feeling bad for victims. Let them know where they could best use the money. Say, hey, I can donate $20. I can donate $25. They can put that into a fund for groceries to go and help the woman so she can buy groceries for her children because she had to leave in the house in the night. They can use those monies that they work with other hotels to get banks of hotel rooms for women because they don't have enough shelters that they can pay for a hotel room for that night. There are all kinds of things, and they don't care how little or how much you can give.
Talk with my attorney.
Yeah, how that work out with your
I'll explain
attorney.
some of the pictures. I'll explain what's in my community tab. I'll explain some of it. Oh, no. No, I'm completely safe. Well, the only thing that happened today is I had to talk to my attorney because as soon as I signed the paperwork, I was on the way home from my attorney's office and I got a text message that said, the wine rack that I'm ordered to give you back, it didn't say how. No, they're both signed. We both signed. He refused to sign first because, then he could go back and say, well, she signed first, so I signed. And so I refused to sign first. I never put it off.
So let's start here. The truth about the phone call she had with her attorney and the reason for it. But I'd like to point out, I could probably stop my video here with the sheer fact that Michelle, very first comment is, I'm completely safe. Well, no shit, Michelle, you're lying about the domestic violence. But Michelle is still obsessed with that stupid wine rack. And the thing is she's lying about it being super special. I searched it. I found like 5 to 8 different options, all price ranges. She's just obsessed with it. And the thing that I don't understand, Michelle, is you say you made Ed sign first so that he couldn't come back and say to you, well, you signed first. Michelle, he's never coming back to you to say anything. He filed for divorce first. So in the court, it's assumed that he's signed the divorce document already. You were just being an asshole.
Is he being nicer to me now? He doesn't have a choice. I'm making my attorney and I have an appointment on the 14th at 11 o'clock. And so he doesn't have a choice not to be nice.
Michelle.
Okay, so this is her before she has went into downward spiral that she's not gotten her way thing. So where you're seeing her sit down and she looks like a, reasonably decent human. She sits there and she sucks her teeth and stuff, and I don't know if they're dentures or not. It doesn't matter, but sometimes she looks a little better, and I don't know if it's that she has dentures in or something. Anyway, she's trying to just kind of be this, kind of sincere, kind of looking down with contrition that, she's okay, she's safe. Because obviously people are asking her in the chat, as Penelope's going to say, they're like, are you safe? He knows where you live. Those papers were signed. Oh, because they don't know the story. They didn't go and do their research and look down Penelope's lane to get all of the facts. People need to vet people before they fall for their freaking BS. She's sitting there and people are like, is he treating you? Yeah, because he has no choice. I am going to play that video where I can't show you. I don't want to show his face, just as Penelope didn't want to show his face because the poor man had to deal with foreign enemies and her. So he doesn't need his face shown. It's enough that his name is out there. Now, to comment on this picture here of Michelle, when she trolls Molly Golightly, she puts on this wig and does the eyebrow thing and the smeared lipstick, and she thinks she's really funny. And I don't think that looks at all like Molly whatsoever. So it's not funny. She's like, oh yeah, I want to be like Molly. Yeah, you do, because you're a fucking stalker, and that's what you do. You're a stalker. You're trying to be like Molly. This all started because you got rejected by Molly. She rejected your dumbass, and it has turned into this. And now that you want the world to pay, and you've got everybody who has a little bit of empathy and sympathy in them going towards you, not knowing how many children, adults, innocent people, plants, animals, tons of animals. Oh, there's videos of her kicking the dog. She only wants one dog to cuddle her, so the other dog comes up because he wants to cuddle too. She'll kick him. I think that's the Jake one. She'll be like, oh, come here, Lola. Let's cuddle. And she's like, get down, Jake. And she'll kick him. She is on video kicking a dog, and you all know that animal cruelty is one thing that I'll go toe to toe. I mean, fucking catch these hands before I'll let you abuse an animal. Absolutely. I don't care. I don't care if I get thrown to the ground and I'm the one flailing. It won't be the animal. The animal will get away. You do not mess with an animal. I will expose you every day. And that's how my original channel, The Real Cunt of Brookline, began, because of the abuse of the other creature feature, who now is no longer on YouTube. I take a group bow with other people for that. Abusing animals is disgusting, and she keeps the animals. I don't know how, but she put Etienne's dog down when he left because he had to leave his dog that he loved. But she did that as a punishment. So that's a piece of shit you're looking at. And that's a piece of shit that people are giving her all this money for. So. And treating her better. Well, let me show you a little example. Let you hear a little example of how they interacted while married. So to set the stage here, Etienne is standing there. He's quiet. This is very much like a Chris Watts. He's very, very quiet, doing what he's supposed to be doing. Well, she has a camera in his face, going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Come in, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's just like, "I'm cooking. Yeah, I put ground beef in here. I put this in here, this is what goes inside of a burrito. This makes a burrito." And she won't leave him alone. So he's like, "Well, why don't I go get a can of Spam, Michelle? Why don't I put in a can of Spam?" And she's like, "No, gross." And they're joking and they're laughing. And that's the way their marriage was. Now, kind of like the Chris Watts. And what I can see in ETN, they just don't want to be on camera. I don't either. Somebody tries to put a camera on me, I'm like, you know what? No, I won't be a part of this. I'll stop. I'll stop my activity. I'm the one who's on the other side of the camera. I don't want the camera on me. And that's for a variety of reasons at this point. I mean, if I was confident again, that might be different, but I'm not for a variety of reasons. But he's the one making her the food because she doesn't know how to cook. We all know that. She tried to start a cooking channel, made everybody donate the pans, buy her the pans that she wanted so that she could do a cooking channel and make money. And people actually sent her new pans, the pans that she wanted. I can't make this shit up. So here we are. So here is Etienne and Michelle on a Saturday morning. Listen to this.
What's in there? Chef meat, corned beef hash, eggs. No, but
See, he won't even look up at her. At this point, he is so disgusted with her, he won't even look at her. And she's like, "Look at me. Look at me, Etienne Sabati. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me." And he's just looking down, doing what he's doing. So God knows what happened before this video. But she sure as hell isn't the victim of it.
beef and corned beef hash. And that's dinner.
That's her laugh.
You sure? Cooking. It looks
He's so good. You want me to add some spam?
no, no. We don't even have spam in here.
Yeah, we do have spam.
No, we don't.
Let's go add some spam.
Wait, give it to me. You don't know spam.
Don't throw that away, man.
Yes. This is disgusting. It's so gross.
You bought it. I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Asian thing. You just gotta throw shit together.
And so when I look really gross in my bathing suit, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, when you come camping with me. This,
Careful, I am.
I'm literally making a salad. There's meat and eggs. You were so, 'cause Come on, you. Look, baby. I love us. Did you hear me? I love us.
Okay, so that, what it shows is it shows a kitchen before she's thrashed it. It shows a man who can't even look at her. She says, what, how many times she say, look at me, 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 Etienne, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And he will not even look at her. He won't even raise his eyes to her. That is because he is the victim. Okay? It's very easy to hear the person who's talking the loudest saying that they're abused. And you look at, oh, fuck off, McAfee. Shut up. I don't care. I'm not there. You know, the fact that his eyes are down. His eyes are down. He's already been demeaned and dejected. That is not the way a military man holds himself. A military man holds himself with his posture correct, his spine erect, and is confident, has his chin forward, his eyes straight forward. There is so much more in the way that a military man holds himself, because just the stance of a military man is enough to intimidate others. Okay, that's a huge thing that's ingrained into them. So this is, to the point where he was about to retire from the military. So I don't know if he did 20 or 30. Again, thank you for your service, no matter how much you served. And this is him having too much of her. She's overstimulating him. She's insulting him. He's the one cooking. And she's like, that looks like shit. Shit. And he's like, it's ground beef, hamburger, and scrambled eggs. It's what we make burritos out of. It's a Cajun thing. You throw something together, it makes a meal. It's protein, Michelle. And she's like, well, when I don't look good in my bikini when we go camping, it's your fault. I mean, she's like, I'm not going to eat that shit anyway. That looks like shit. I'm not going to eat that shit anyway. I'm going to go make myself a salad. And then she pans to a picture of them in Hawaii looking happy and perfect. And I love us. I love us. And she also, threw away that container of Spam that was unopened. And you know what? Look, none of us like people have, some people say that they kind of like Spam. Spam was a necessity of growing up when you don't have money. Thinking of throwing away anything in the can just to be an ass is proof of somebody being entitled. It's like, if you don't want that can of Spam, donate it to the food bank. Okay? You don't just get it, say how gross it is, and throw it in the freaking bin. Okay? There's somebody who will appreciate that. But that also goes to show that she doesn't value money. She doesn't value humanity. She didn't value her husband. Okay? She's incapable of it. That kitchen was clean. That was Etienne's house. He had bought that as a single man before her. He had bought that most likely on the veterans. Veterans have a program where they can get financed. It's not through the military or anything, but it's a way of putting them in a better position to explain why they may not have that money for a down payment. With the Veterans Home Loan Program, you don't have to come in with a down payment. You don't have to pay property taxes up to a certain amount. There are other little things built in that you don't have to pay certain extra fees, and you kind of have somebody looking out for you to make sure that you're not being jerked around with extra fees, etc., etc. So because Etienne was in the military and earned his way to buy a house to retire in, he bought that from his own hard work. He only made the mistake of letting that cockroach in. And to this day, he pays and pays. From what I understand, he had to go move back in with his mother. I'm sorry if that is misinformation, but that is what I heard. Either way, he's out of his house. She's in it, fucking it up, doing this, trying to get men in it, doing every disgusting thing. She's been filmed doing drugs in that kitchen with rat crap, bat crap, everything else. Absolutely. So let's see what Penelope has to say.
Are you really that stupid? Did you really waste money to have a phone call with your attorney to force your ex to be nice? I need to tell you something, Michelle. A court cannot force someone to be nice to you. The fact that Ed hasn't completely blocked your number is extremely gracious of him. But Michelle, here's something you can do to get people to be nice to you. Stop being a lying, manipulative piece of shit.
There's some things that need to be addressed on YouTube, and some things that have been coming out, and I feel like I need to explain them. And maybe if I explain them, you'll understand. My stunt mark. Why and how did I retire? So, my ex, yeah, they're really bad videos. She said she's not inserting herself, but they're really bad videos. And I only sent her 2 mild ones. I got smart and I took my iPhone and I started recording things when he didn't know that I'm not releasing any videos. There will be no videos that are posted.
So many lies right off the jump, Michelle. First of all, you were never a stunt double. Stop lying about that. Secondly, I'm pretty sure Valentina is smart, and the reason she didn't want to discuss it is because she saw your bullshit videos and she knew they proved nothing and had 0 domestic violence, unless, of course, it showed you being the aggressor. And also, Michelle, your first attorney would not submit the discovery that you wanted to submit because they saw the videos and they saw that they were bullshit. They weren't going to be involved in your perjury. Oh, and this one's great. You got smart and started recording. The thing is, Michelle, I'm pretty sure that if you were experiencing domestic violence, if you were getting beat, like you said, or boiling water spilled on you, and all of the things that you claim, number one, you're not coordinated at all, so I don't think you'd be able to hold the cell phone still. Number 2, that is the last thing anyone does, Michelle, is try to antagonize their aggressor. But we did see a video, Michelle, of you being the aggressor and chasing Ed around even after he asked you to stop.
No, you can't cross it. No, you can't cross it. We put it like that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not know that he is shown. This is Ed. Penelope made the choice to put this in, and it does show him being intimidated by her, just as the video that I was watching. If you look at him. He is a man not standing to accept his full height. He is a man hunched over. He is a man looking down. He is an abused man.
Yeah, you're trying to escalate this.
No, this is not.
Okay, he tells her right there. He says, "You're trying to escalate." Now, what's on his shirt? That looks like fingerprints. That looks like something like she must have thrown flour at him. She must have grabbed something and tried to attack him. The marks on his shirt are not from himself. I don't think that this is a man who goes and starts to cook and starts, fingering himself all over like it's Pat on Saturday Night Live, kind of Michelle laughing. So that right there is proof of something going on. And so this is where she said that she got smart and started getting the videotape for the abuse, right? Well, the video that I have next may be a continuum of that, because the video I have next has him in that shirt. So let's see what Penelope put in here. And I'm sorry for the background. That's my my water by tea kettle. I'm putting on hot water so I can have some hot chocolate. Still snowy outside. We're going to get more snow in the next couple of days, hopefully. I love my snow. I would have snow every single day. I should just move to somewhere where there's snow. I think I should move to like Finland or somewhere. I don't even there's enough snow in Alaska for me. Maybe Nova Scotia? I think they have a lot of snow. I love snow. I love snow. I don't like the cold with it necessarily. I like spring skiing a lot. I'm a horrible skier. Terrible skier. The children that are up on the lift that go over me after I've crashed, laugh and flip me off and everything while I'm on the ground. This has been years ago because I'm still injured from the last time I skied. But anyway, they flip me off and laugh and everything. And it's humiliating being brought down on the toboggan once you've injured yourself. I had to be brought down in a cardboard box in a toboggan once. But anyway, I'm a terrible skier. But I love to ski. And I love to ski in spring skiing where you can just wear a t-shirt and ski pants. Or like Chelsea Handler, wear nothing but some pasties, a G-string, a beer in one hand, a ciggy in the other, and just go down the hill. That'd be fun. Now, here we go with Michelle intimidating her poor ex-husband once again.
Ashley, it's so funny. Just back up. Just back up.
Oh,
Just
you
back
can
up.
see it's her hand
No,
on
we're
him.
having a fight.
We're not having a
You're trying to
fight.
escalate.
We're not fighting. Back
Yeah,
up.
you're trying to escalate.
We're not fighting. Back up.
Okay, so you just saw her hands go on him at his stomach. You can see where they were higher with whatever she had on her. Probably, maybe that's blow. I don't know. That rhymes. But she's trying to film him during a fight. This is a fight in which she claims that, is domestic violence, mind you. Those of us who know that you don't have time to get a freaking picture of what's going on, you're running for your freaking life, or, ducking fast or whatever. You don't have time to film during an incident where you are honestly afraid for your life. Now, he is using words that are common to a military man, in which he is saying to her, you are escalating. You are escalating. So one of the best pieces of advice as a human is to never engage in any kind of a fight with a stranger if you can. You don't know what they've got up there. And in a situation, whatever. I mean, married couples do argue, okay? You're going to argue. It happens. You're going to argue, but you need to be safe with that arguing. Keep across the room from each other. Take breaks when you're too mad. You need to de-escalate. Okay, when things escalate, then the brains don't, your right and left brain don't think. You go into primal mode and you go into attack mode. There's adrenaline going, etc., etc. So a military man knows, and any cop, any medical professional basically at this point has to know as well. You de-escalate. So you do not meet that person word for word. You do not meet that person challenge for challenge. You ask them and tell them, I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging. You're continuing this. I'm not engaging with you. This is what he is doing. He is not giving in to her. And not because she's filming. It's because he's disgusted with her.
Back up like 10 feet, please.
I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Just back up. We're not fighting. Back up like 10 feet.
I just want to get the fuck away from
I
you.
just want you back up.
I just
Like
want to get
10
the fuck
feet.
away
Just 10
from you.
feet back up and I'll leave you alone.
All right.
Just
No.
back up like 10 feet. Just
No,
back up and
no,
I'll leave
no.
you alone. I'll get up and I'll leave.
You're drunk and you're trying to escalate
No, I'm
the
not drunk.
situation.
I'm laughing. Just please back
Trying
up.
to escalate the
No, just
situation.
please
I'm
back up
trying
like
to
10
fuck
feet.
out of
Just
it.
back up like 10 feet.
Look,
Just I'll leave you alone.
No, I don't. Just
Put your ring back on your finger. This is so funny. Okay, I'll follow you. But you need light.
Okay, I'll follow you. When you're getting the shit beat out of you, is that what you say to your aggressor? I'll follow you. You, I want a little more of that. Give me a little more of that. No. Okay. They were in the kitchen. So something was going down in the kitchen. It looked to me like he was probably cooking for her as usual because she's incapable of cooking for herself. Right now, she's trying to get her followers to give her a $400 microwave because she has to have it match the other appliances in there. And she has to have a microwave because she has to have this surgery, which is a little procedure, an inpatient procedure. Not even inpatient, outpatient procedure to get a stent in her artery, which, everybody, not everybody, but many people do, especially if you don't want these things to happen. Don't frickin' smoke 2 packs a day. It's not good for you and your arteries. Okay? And your arteries probably look like your glasses at this point with all of this yellow ass tartar dripping all over them. You're not going to be the picture of health drinking, smoking, and drugging. And that's what people don't understand. They're like, oh no, something's happened to her. Oh no. And like maybe I stopped saying what I was going to say earlier, but she will threaten to unalive herself within this week. As YouTube has taken her platform down and people are stopping engaging with her, they're not giving her a platform to make money. Even the platforms that were allowing her to host or be on their platform so they could make money are sick of her crap. So she's not going to have the internet to infect anymore. She knows she's losing, so she will fake a stroke, say that she's going to unalive herself, maybe even say that she'll go to rehab so that then all of the people will think that she's actually going to do it, as she's done several times. She'll go to rehab, she'll get kicked out within 3 days generally. She can't stay in a hospital or rehab more than 3 days. That's when withdrawal really starts to hit a person who drinks hard in addition to drugs. The withdrawal is really, really starting to kick in on that 3rd day. It's tough. I know that she's done that when she's been in a corner, never stays, but people want her to be a better person for her children, And they need to focus their efforts on somebody else, because Michelle has no capacity to actually be a good person at this point. I don't believe that she can, and I believe in a lot of people. But as you can see, she was putting her hands on him, on his belly. He has flour marks or whatever all up and down him. He is saying the words, "You are drunk. You are causing this." And she's saying, "No, I just want you to back up, just back up, just back up." He's trying to get out of the kitchen area that is like a island area. So it's a square in there. He's trying to get out to go to the other room. She's blocking him, trying to film him, trying to say that she's going to film him abusing her. So she's trying to bait him, just like she baits anybody in a fight. And she goes to the lowest place, gets them to say the lowest thing, which, if they don't know the history of her, it is things that she has said that nobody would ever know if she had not said them. So then they go and use what she has said, and then the people think the other person's bad. As in what happened with Molly. I'm not a fan of any of that crowd or anything like that. But Molly did get done dirty because Michelle is the one who says disgusting things about her own baby that's died of SIDS and his grave. So when Molly said it in retaliation to what Michelle said, it looked terrible for Molly. Molly got cut off the panel. So whenever she wants somebody, whenever she's losing to somebody, she's going to bait them to go to that level. They're going to continue to engage with her. They're going to lock up horns with her. And she's going to go lower. So they go lower. They look bad. She wins. She wins because they got kicked off. And they're not there to argue with her every single time. She does it. And this is what she was doing to this man who had knowledge in how to, conduct himself as a military man. I hear nothing but good things about his military career. I would say that he was good at what he did. I mean, to stay in and not get kicked out or not. I from what I saw, I think he was in one branch of the military the whole time. He deserved a good and peaceful retirement. Not this. He's dealt with foreign enemy. At his age, I think he's about my age. I'm 50. Right when I graduated, we were going through the Gulf War, and then we've had 9/11 and et cetera, et cetera. So there was pretty much peacetime for our military for a while after the Gulf War, but after that they were, sent for long periods of time, and were subjected to the toxic gases that were over in the Gulf. That is in their lungs, that's in their bodies, that's what causes Gulf War syndrome. It's bad. Now he comes home, has to deal with this on top of it. He deserves better. He absolutely deserves better. She's laughing at him. Look at this. You can see on the back of him, you can see all the places she's grabbed with him. She had flour on him. She must have thrown flour on him, done something with flour, or blown. But she is laughing. He is walking away. When she was saying, back up 10 feet, back up 10, that's a power struggle, because she wants him to do what she says. So then when she was getting that on film, she was thinking it was looking good because he was walking towards her. He was walking out to try to get to the living room area in the only way that he could. She had it blocked in the way. If he would have went around the other way, she would have blocked him in the other way. So she's blocking him. He's just trying to get past her. Look at how he has these marks on the back of his shirt where her hands are, just in the same way you saw her pushing on him. He is dejected. He's depressed. He's looking down. This is not the way that a military man acts. Okay? This is a military man who has been abused. And think about this. This cockroach has gotten, she could be a freaking weapon to us at this point. We need to weaponize Michelle so that we can get what we want out of, well, shit. We could get Russia to stop picking on Ukraine at this point with inflicting a night with Michelle on him.
I'm gonna put these like.
Michelle, my heart is honestly broken for him. This man is an absolute saint. His calm demeanor and patience is absolutely amazing. If he didn't knock you on your non existent ass at that moment, he didn't abuse you any other time, Michelle, because I would have punched you in your stupid, drunk face. He literally asks you to stop escalating the situation, which you disregard. Then he tells you he just wants to leave your presence. And then you say, okay, I'll just follow you. You continue to cackle, you're drunk and obnoxious, following him around and recording him, Michelle. All right, Michelle, you ready for some laws? You know how I love them. Do you know that it is illegal in the state of Georgia to record someone? Let me tell you a little something, Michelle. While you can audio record someone, it is a one-party consent state. You may not record them. You may not record, wiretape, eavesdrop, surveillance, or other related offenses. The thing is, Michelle, you cannot record a private conversation in a private place, the activities of a person in a private place out of public view, which would be your home, Michelle. The other thing is, Michelle, it is illegal to distribute that content or publish it. And you know what you did, Michelle? You published it. You put it on your Facebook. And I'm guessing you probably tried to send it to your first attorney as a reason that you should get everything in the divorce, Michelle. So this is a felony. It's punishable by up to 5 years in prison and also up to $10,000, which you don't have.
I'm safe.
Yeah, you are.
I'm 100% safe.
Yeah,
right?
you are. You're safe because you were never fucking abused, you dumb, nasty twat.
I'm not scared of my husband.
Well, feel free to.
Yeah, she just admitted a truthism. Michelle admitted a truthism that she is safe. Oh my God.
Rewind that because we very rarely ever get Michelle telling the truth.
Too.
But you did in those last two clips. Michelle would never put this out to the public if she ever suffered domestic violence, because she would be fearful of the aggressor, who still owns her house, who still has keys to it, and can still show up at any time. But the fact of the matter is, Michelle, you are not scared of your ex because he never laid a hand on you.
No, the videos went to our attorneys, and that's why we settled out of court. Because once something is filed through the court, they're there forever. So, why did I get everything? Why was it settled out of court? It was settled out of court because the videos that I had were gonna be in public record forever. Like, there's a YouTube channel that is reading off the papers of our divorce. And
Right there.
like,
Shout out to Penelope Lane right there. That's what Penelope is doing. She's reading off everything on the divorce. And now those are public documents. Everything out there that this is why Michelle thinks that she's in the right going and doxing everybody. Because she is claiming that Penelope Lane doxed her originally by putting out her name, birthday, social security number, address, and details of the divorce. Now, I do not doubt that Penelope knew exactly what she was doing when she did this, and when she stated that this is public record, that she is showing what is out there for the public to see. She did not dox anybody. Doxing is when somebody wants their privacy and their information is exploited so that because you're doing it in a malicious way to cause them harm. The tragedy pimps love to do that. So if somebody comments on anything they're doing, their weapon is to take that channel name, find out who the creator is, their name, their address, anything they've ever done, any public police report, anything that they've ever done in their life, any fart anywhere that they've ever let, And if they have children, they will then stoop to the low level of calling CPS and taking anything that they've said on the internet and saying this person is abusing their kids. And if they're feeling extra naughty, they will call the popo and say that, hey, they just got a call that somebody is being held against their will. And that address is then surrounded by a SWAT team. It's called being swatted. It's a disgusting abuse of our tax dollars. It has scared people, and somebody's going to get hurt because somebody's going to defend themselves in the night being broken into with a SWAT team. Okay? This is what they do. What she is doing is subject to public knowledge, is public record. I assume my first divorce is public record. I have nothing to hide. If anybody wants to, see my divorce record, my remarriage, I don't know what everybody's going to get when they do dox me, which will happen. I'm happy to answer for anything that anybody has questions on, and I'll explain everything. And you'll see that I am who I am. I don't have anything to hide. That being said, you don't want the wrong person to know who you are. And that's why people choose to have a different username in the terms of service. And in most social media platforms say, guard your identity. Don't use your real name. So that is what you are doing when you are doing this work, okay? It is a part of that. What they're doing is illegal. And they want people to shut up when because their scams get exposed when people start telling the truth. Their lies exist. So Michelle is getting away with all of these lies. Okay. And that's when Penelope said, what? And she got in and exposed her for what she's doing. Now, if Michelle did nothing wrong, why would she care what's in those divorce papers? They would back up everything that she is saying. Everything would back it up, right? There would be video proof. If you're a victim of domestic violence, you generally have emergency room visits. You have the police report. Police take pictures of your injuries. There are witnesses to your injuries. You often have to go to the doctor. An ambulance can come and they can write a report on your injuries. The ER will take pictures. The doctor who treats your injuries will make an extensive report. And if it is from the nature of abuse, they are all mandated reporters. So they will, so if you go to the doctor and you have a bunch of bruises and you can't answer for how you have them, they can, if you're under the age of 18, they'll alert child services. If you're over the 18, they can talk to you about, do you feel safe at home? And if they believe that you are a victim of domestic violence, they will then call the police and report what you said and how you've shown that. I know this personally. Okay, I know this personally, and that's all I'm going to say on it right now. But she does not have the proof in which we are talking about. Her proof is her lies, and people do lie about being abused, and it's tragic. And they lie about abuse for a variety of ways. If you lie about abuse so that because your abuser is going to come and kill you, that's a whole different thing than what she's doing. Here is that she is lying and saying that she got everything from the divorce because Etienne was admitting his guilt and admitting what he did to her. That's not true. Okay? So people think that she has credibility because she's sitting in this house looking relatively normal at this point. So people think, God, she's just in a bad position because she was a victim of domestic violence. She needs a little help. Why shouldn't she make a little money here? They don't know what she spirals down to. This is what Etienne saw. Okay? Now, and Etienne even saw better because there are some really beautiful pictures that she had done of herself. Probably a very, very professional photographer, very talented, because he made her look very beautiful. And maybe when she gets sober and tones up a little bit, she'll be back to that. She's lost a lot in this little bender, but Etienne was probably lonely. Military men get lonely. Being in the military is not for the faint of heart. Being in the military and involved with somebody takes a lot of sacrifice from both partners, okay? You have to be willing to go very long periods by yourself while your spouse is in a foreign country, maybe a foreign country with a lot of money and a lot of women, and a lot of women willing to do anything for that military man to get money. So you have to be very, very trusting. Okay, I didn't trust my man when he went on his Westpac. So you guys know the story. I flew everywhere he was going to be. Like, I don't trust you there, so I'll be there. And I will tell you what I saw. A little village in Thailand, and had no people. And so I'm explaining, oh yeah, my boyfriend's and he's gonna be here in a few days. And they're like, what'd you say, mademoiselle? I'm like, my boyfriend was in the Navy is gonna be here in a few days. This is before 9/11, 2 weeks before 9/11, in fact. And so they're like, oh, is he? What kind of ship is he on? How many ships are coming with him? And I'm just thinking that they're just so nice and they want to know all of this and everything. And I'm owning this village in the day because there's nobody there. So I was getting clothes made, everything. Just, oh, I mean, you can be a princess in Thailand. Absolutely. Oh, going around with my little cabbie friends I made friends with, going around on their mopeds, having things made, giving money to people. And then, the day when my husband arrived, I woke up and the town was filled with people. I was like, what the? And there were no men. There were tons and tons of women. Because my dumbass, loose lips sink ships, when I was telling them about it, then they were able to go and import all of the Thai ho and Vietnamese ho, and all of the hoes from all of the surrounding areas so that they could be there for the men. And they get off the ship, and these women are just all over them, and all the guys who I would see back home at picnics and stuff with their wives and children, oh yeah, they're there, and they've got 1 and 2, 3, 4 women on their arm. I'm not kidding you. And so, because I told them, now after 9/11, ships movement and everything like that can't be talked about. Well, when I was there, that was not a problem. You could talk about it. Ships movement was on the computer. You could watch and everything. But, oh, what a time it was to be alive. But I love Thailand. Anywho, you get involved with a military man. And you want to, you're in love. You want to be together. But then he says he's got to go away. And he doesn't know when he's coming back. So then you're back to, okay, I'm going to be completely alone, but I'm on the market and I have other offers and I don't know what you're doing. So unless and until you have that hope and trust in your relationship that you're going to see each other and that you're going to be faithful to each other for those long periods of time, it doesn't happen. And then you have a baby together, and then here you are with this baby hoping that he isn't doing what you think he is doing while he is across the world, and it's a mess. It's really hard to be involved with a military man. It really is. And the way that they can compartmentalize and the way that they can be hurtful when they don't realize they're being hurtful. And so she got him when he was retired. So when she says that she's a military wife and all this shit, don't believe her. And this is the thing, is that if she was, broadcasting from whatever hole she came out of on the street, well, if she wanted a place to live in a shelter, she would have to abide by rules. Shelters have rules. And when you find people who, you don't understand why in this position, you try to get them into a shelter, you find that they've been banned from said shelter because of the rules that they broke. They have to behave accordingly. And people like Michelle will not behave in a shelter. So she globs onto other victims, like the military men, and they're lonely. They've been lonely for a lifetime because they chose to serve our country. And I guess long ago they used to allow spouses, to like pay for the spouses to go and have a visit with their men when they were across the world or whatever. I don't know. I really never found out how that happened and whatnot, but that would be kind of cool in a way to try to stop the divorce rate of the military. But our military provides our active duty and veterans with amazing health benefits. So you often see parasites like this one trying to get military men because they want their benefits. And that is a huge thing. And I wish that there was a better way to report that kind of fraud, because literally they'll go and hook up with a military man, marry him, and they don't care they're gonna be gone. That's all the better, because then they have other boyfriends and they have that. They have all these kids from different dads and whatnot, and they've got the TRICARE. And the poor military guy thinks he's got somebody who just loves him, but no, they love their benefits, and that's just disgusting. Our tax dollars are intended to help people who sacrificed and gave for our country, not to enable nasty, nasty hoe bags like Michelle. Anyway.
Like I said, it was settled out of court because
Because you're a liar.
there was so much incriminating things on him
No, because you're a fucking liar.
that he didn't want them to be public record.
No, because you're a liar.
So when I
and they laughed at
turned
you.
in all my discovery,
What was your discovery?
Didn't want his mother to see those videos.
You know what? Yeah. I bet you his mother didn't want to. He didn't want his mother to see those videos, because his mother would have came and kicked you in your nasty, nasty Groucho Marx ass looking fucking glass faces.
Yeah, he didn't want his mom to see.
He didn't want his mom
really
to see. His mama's come and kick ass to people who do what you do.
On.
First of all, Michelle, why the fuck do you keep incriminating yourself on YouTube? You just admitted to blackmailing your husband to get everything you wanted. Even my dog's pissed. The thing is, Michelle, you're lying. So you didn't actually blackmail him. You literally made all of that up. And you have been begging me for a long time to read all of your divorce documents, Michelle. And I'm going to do that in this video right now. And I'm going to show everyone what a liar you are. Okay, so I'd like to start off by saying I have talked to legal counsel about doing it this way, so I can actually show you these documents. I'm mostly just going to read the other documents to you. So I'm sorry this is going to be a little bit boring.
Okay, so this is where she goes and she just shows this nonstop harassment that she goes through and does to the divorce lawyers. She was having her husband's attorney pay for her attorney. She couldn't keep attorneys. That's why Penelope did How to Lose a Lawyer in 10 Days, because this whole legal team couldn't deal with her crazy ass. Now, Michelle says that Penelope exposed her social security number. I do not see that, and I would not be a part of that. I don't see it, and I don't believe that that would be in full public records. I believe that they would have some of it redacted. That's just her saying that. She's saying that, because of that, it ruined her wonderful $700 credit score. I didn't know that people on disability who were making their money, making 100,000. What? How often does she say she made 100,000? How often people give her 100,000 to turn around and go? I don't know. I don't know how she could have a credit score of 700 with the way that she behaves, spends. If she has a credit score of 700, is getting all this equity for a house supposedly, why are people giving her money? Why? Why are people giving their hard-earned money that they don't have extra of, a lot of people are on SSI who watch her? Why are they giving money that's budgeted out for them, and rent just went up and everything, to her that she has more than enough of? All of her bills are paid. She does not need anything. She is now saying that she needs money because she can't afford her prescriptions for her toe and all of this. That's bullshit. She's fully covered from the state for medical. She has a secondary provider medical coverage from ETN's TRICARE benefits through being a veteran. What is that? It's like federal employee through the federal employee program. I can't remember what it's called. If he doesn't have TRICARE through the retirement fund, she's on that. She doesn't have to pay a fucking cent for her prescriptions. Some people have said that it's up to $3, $3.06, $3.26 that she might have to pay, but that's it. And she goes on and she's doing these streams where she's saying that she has to be streaming while she's in the hospital because of the hospital bill she has and the prescriptions. Does anybody know how expensive that is? And people believe that. There are people who need help, and it is not her. Okay? So at this point, let's see if what I have is the second one that she just showed. It might be. Let's see here.
Well, you put your ring back on your finger.
Yeah, it is.
No, you can't cross it. You can't cross it. Well, you put your ring back on your finger.
Yeah, you're trying to escalate.
No, this is not. Not. Just back up. Just back up. Just back up like 10 feet, please.
No, we're having a fight.
We're not having a
You're
fight.
trying to escalate.
We're not fighting. Back
Yeah,
up.
you're trying to escalate.
We're not fighting. Back up. Just back up like 10 feet, please.
I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Just back up. We're not fighting. Back up like 10 feet.
I just want to get the fuck away.
I just want you back up
I just
like
wanna
10
get the
feet.
fuck away
Just 10
from
feet back up and I'll leave
All
you
right.
alone.
All right.
Just
no,
back up like 10 feet. Just
no,
back up and I'll leave you alone. I'll get up and I'll...
You're drunk and you're trying to escalate.
No, I'm
the
not drunk.
situation.
I'm laughing. Just please back
Trying
up.
to escalate the
No,
situation.
just please
I'm
back
trying
up
to
like
get the
10
fuck
feet.
out of
Just
here.
back up like 10 feet.
Look,
Just I'll leave you alone.
No, I don't. Just
Put your ring back on your... me. Okay, I'll follow you.
Oh, she said put your ring back on your finger. So he took his ring off and everything. It looks like so the one that I have is the same. So she says, put your ring back on the finger. It's so funny. This is so funny. And like I say, you guys saw all of the flour all over his shirt. So she had probably, just clobbered him. He tried to probably get her off of him. And that's what she says, he hurt her, because that's what happens when you go clobbering a big man. And you're, even if you're, but if she's this big stunt double and has done stunt doubles and is known as a roundhouse kick girl, how come she is not defending herself? How come there's no credits in IMDb for her? So let's see. Play more.
I'm gonna put these lights on.
She's laughing at him.
Oh my God. This is so funny. Okay.
She has absolutely humiliated this man. Let's see. So she says that she had 3 Bud Lights and it was just funny as shit, and his ring is back on his finger and he's cooking me French toast. So he was cooking for her. And she can't breathe. She's laughing so hard at him.
Look at me.
Let's drink some more vodka.
All right, Jen. Baby, look at me.
He won't even look at her. He will not look at her.
I think you've had enough to drink.
Listen to him. He says, Michelle, I think you've had enough to drink. I think you've had enough to drink. And he says, why don't you go have some more vodka? Well, that is not 3 Bud Light. Okay. Not at all. I don't think 3 Bud Lights would make you act that weird. His eyes are just looking down, dejected. Like I say, that is not the way that a military man would command himself. would conduct himself. This is a man who has been treated like a freaking hostage. I mean, I think anybody gets basically a Stockholm syndrome when they've been around her. You know, these hosts, they do this and they have this big honeymoon period. And the first 3 days that they meet the military guy is just, well, I guess any guy, well, especially military guys who went so long without being loved, they love bomb them. Michelle's a borderline. That's one of the things she does in the beginning of the relationship. It's called love bombing. And, you know, when you've got somebody who's went a long time without love and feels like they're never going to get anybody, it looks pretty good. And they may or may not have met through Michelle's profession. She's a professional. It doesn't matter if they did or didn't. But I think it's obvious she wasn't going to be able to do that kind of work or do that work successfully. But again, you can hear because Penelope showed some of this video, and I have more of it. Like I said, I didn't want to show it. You can hear it, and you can just hear in his voice where he's not giving in. He was making her French toast. He really was. But once again, he's cooking for her. She's making an ass out of herself. She says that the cement from the sump pump flew up, but it looks more like the powdered sugar that he put on the French toast for her. She threw at him. So probably, if I was a guessing woman, if I was a betting woman, I would say that what had happened is that he was busy making her breakfast of French toast, maybe breakfast brunch. You know, he gets up, he makes her food, he cares for her. He is a person who cares, and that's what she clings on to. She wants to be cared for because she's an incessant, insolent toddler. And so she must have grabbed a big thing of powdered sugar and just thrown it in his face, is what it looks like. And then he was probably trying to get it out of his face or whatever. And maybe that's where some of the things are up in the top where maybe she can't reach. But he probably was like, that's not fucking funny. That's in my face. I'm cooking for you, you jackass. And she's drunk. She's drunk off of her ass. So, and this is once again, this man that she claims was so abusive and had to give the home and everything. So let's listen let's listen a little more.
How long does it take for that to dry?
That's her laughing at him.
Dry?
You were drunk and you spilled concrete all over our fucking yard. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, he says, you are drunk and you spilled concrete all over our yard. I have no idea how long it's going to take to dry. What was the French toast doing in the pan? We made her breakfast and everything. Oh, that's probably what you did. Mary made her breakfast and then goes out and starts doing the work. And then she's like, let's have a concrete party. Let's go throw ourselves in it. Asshole.
I have no idea.
He had a big piece of like concrete in the back of his hair. So he took his wedding ring off, maybe to do the concrete. Maybe she had a shit fit, said, you're not wearing your ring. And he's like, I'm pouring concrete for the sump pump. I don't know. But yeah, he did have like this big thing that he just pulled out of it, the back of his head. And yeah, he was just looking dejected and down, and she's just laughing at him. And these are the videos that she submitted that she said showed the abuse that made Etienne go ahead and sign the divorce papers. See, she wouldn't sign them. So it was going month after month. And so she was beginning to get in contempt because she thought that these videos were her big blackmail, that she was going to show that he's an abuser. So obviously they didn't show, and he didn't want his mom to see them. Yeah, because his mom's going to see that he got treated like a freaking, piece of dog shit by this nasty hoe that she told him not to marry. Yeah, he probably doesn't want, her to know. But you know what? These videos are out there, out in the public right now. Still her laughing at him. Still her laughing at him. She's laughing and she goes, "We're going to get a divorce for this, aren't we?" That's me imitating Michelle. That's not me. I mean, that's not me. That was me, but that was not Michelle. It's my Michelle imitation. Nasty, nasty woman. Oh, poor Etienne. Oh my God. And she just thinks this is so funny.
A divorce over some concrete. It's concrete, really? It's concrete.
Oh my God. He's trying to pick the pieces of concrete and stuff out of his hair and his neck. And he's got big red welts in the back of his head where the concrete was. So she admits to, she thought it was so funny that her hands were full of cement. So she ran her hands through his hair. He has, this is criminal. This is abuse. He has welts all over his neck, and the cement is in his hair. He's trying to pick pieces out of it. He's looking dejected, down, humiliated into a mirror where he is trying to do his best to remove this from his body. He could have absolutely called the police on her, had her charged with assault and domestic violence for what she did. That is absolutely an abusive act. And he could have had her taken away for domestic abuse, and she's drunk and she's out of control. So he could have had her charged with, disorderly conduct, whatnot, which you definitely would have gotten. They could have used that to start getting her alcohol and drug counseling. But Etienne would not fight back. He would not fight back with her. He just put his head in the sand and would not fight back. That's disgusting.
Over some concrete.
She says, "Put your fucking ring back on."
Really? It's concrete.
Oh my God. It's in his ears. It's in everything. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that, you're a responsible man who has spent a lifetime defending the United States, defending the country that you grew up in? You do everything right. You retire. You fall for some nasty fucking hoe that says that she's going to be your everything and looks like she could look okay in pictures and be an okay wife. And your mother says, that's a hoe. That's not a housewife. You cannot make a housewife from a hoe. Hoes do not make good housewives. You cannot, not make that hoe into a housewife. Do not do it. And he says, I'm going to do it. And that was probably his first time to go against his mom. And it probably didn't take very long at all. Probably the honeymoon period, literally and figuratively, was probably over very soon with Michelle. I'd say any time from 3 days to 2 weeks of living with her, he probably knew that he was in over his head. And the problem is that annulments, people are like, why didn't you get an annulment? Annulments do not work if you consummate the marriage. If there's not something that was outright deceptive with the other person, you can't. It doesn't work. So he couldn't get an annulment, even with the best attorneys. And so he had this house. He was doing housework. He's out there. He had made her French toast. He goes out and is trying to fix a sump pump, has cement mixed up or whatever. She thinks it's so goddamn funny that she goes and puts her hands in it because she's drunk, as she usually is in the mornings. It looks like she drinks in the mornings by herself. As he said, she'd had enough vodka in his daylight. So she comes out drunk. She's like, let's do this. Why do I do this? Puts her hands in the cement and smears it all over him, in his hair, all over him, all over his body. And we don't know what happened from there because it's not explanatory. The way that she has this out to the public is that she said that she had 3 beers, there was cement mix, and she thought it'd be funny to play with. And he's fine, it's funny. He made her French toast. She then used that video to give to attorneys as her proof of him being a domestic abuser. From that, she was rewarded with getting alimony for what? A year now? 2 years? I don't know how long she's gotten alimony. In addition to her full SSI, full medical. She also got a brand new Jeep out of him. She got the brand new Jeep, alimony, the house, until May to live in. And anything else that she wants. As you saw, she kept her wedding ring. And she put her wedding ring up and said that she saw Molly's ring. And she's like, look at my wedding ring. When I walk into motels, people just stop and they're like, can I grab your bags, ma'am? And she says that her ring is so much better than Molly's. And that when she walks in a hotel, that's what people say. Bullshit. If anything, they were like, okay, we recognize you from being on the banned hoes list, so can I grab your bags and walk them the fuck back out? It is not that they are looking at her ring and being like, oh, can I take your bags, ma'am? You must really want to tip me with having a ring like that. Her ring is not beautiful. It's something that she probably conned the poor man into getting. She's saying it's Tiffany, but I think Tiffany should sue her because it is not a Tiffany ring. It does not look like a Tiffany ring. It does not look like anything special, but it's a $12,000 ring that she's saying that he bought and she kept because she wants to give it to her daughter. So she's playing with Etienne's heartstrings once again, saying that she'll let him have the rings upon, if she were to pass, he could have those rings to give to her daughter in the event of her passing. It's not. She'll hawk those rings for $100, if anybody give her $100 for them. But yeah, that's that. So let's cut this episode here at this point. And we will call this part 2. And we will do another one just so that it's not too overwhelming for anybody. And we'll go to the next part here. Possibly tomorrow? Tomorrow? Maybe? Anyway, thank you so much for listening and for being a part of the solution. On my channel, I love to look past the black and white headlines that are just the tip of the iceberg. I love to go deeper and go into the gray. And in so doing, I have amassed 951, 952 friends now that are like-minded. And we have a very good community that we've started of people who enjoy the backstory, the gray part, the not black and white. And together we talk and we think and we see things in a different light so that we may be able to go further into society and help the children that don't have a voice, that are stuck in these situations. And in honor of Bella and Cece Watts especially, we do what we can to expose the truth in all parts, however they are, to try to strive for the truth and the truth to be exposed in no matter what capacity it is. So if you like this, please like and subscribe and listen to my other goodies. And whatever you do, please do not give $1 to this parasite. Thank you. Bye-bye.